Okay, so here we go.
Hello.
Hello. So thank you for meeting with me to talk about my ideas for my paper.
Absolutely.
This paper is kind of about like what I can do to change my research into some actions. So it's a
Okay.
proposal, but it's a proposal for myself.
Nice.
Like what do I want to propose for myself in order to grow from the information I now have.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what I'm already thinking, and then you can maybe talk to me about things that I could also
Sure.
do that I haven't thought of.
I'd love to.
So I've been studying gender bias and implicit bias in general, and I know that it's a real issue. I know that people actually report having been affected by this, and I know that studies and research show that it really does happen,
It does.
that people aren't treated equally based on any number of factors, but certainly gender and sex is one of them. So here are the things that I think I want to do,
Okay.
just in my work, in my life, and things like that, to be more conscious and more aware. So I have a few categories that I've been thinking about. Thinking is one of them. Like, how can I change my mental state around this topic?
Okay.
And then actions, like what can I do? So thinking-wise, I just want to start paying attention more in my classes. I want to notice how I talk to my students.
Okay.
Am I talking equally to men and women? Am I talking differently to men and women? How do they talk to each other? Maybe I can notice just the way that we interact in classrooms. And also like in my professional conversations with my colleagues too. Like what do department meetings look like? Are there equal talking turns for men and women? Or do the men, I don't know. I mean, like, and I'm not gonna say that I know that men are gonna be dominant, but I just wanna start noticing.
It'd be interesting too. I know in my own classes, when I have my students in discussions, I will notice those things, and then I have moved on to sort of an action step where if too many men are dominating a conversation, particularly in a class where there are very few men and a lot of women, I will often just stop the conversation and say, and now our men can't speak until 3 other women have joined the conversation.
Interesting.
And inevitably there are women sitting there who are ready to join the conversation, who had something to say, and it's not that I'm forcing anyone into the conversation. They wanted to join, they just didn't have the entry point, and so just kind of by observing it and thinking about it and being conscious of it, I do notice that my male students tend to talk more. And so then I'll sort of say, okay, these students, or whoever's dominating the conversation, even if it's women, I'll say, okay, time out, let's let some other voices join. So I like that. Just being conscious of it helps.
That's making me think that communication style is informed by things like culture and gender and race and class and all those kinds of things. We all kind of have our own way of communicating. So creating invitations, what did you say, entry points is important, because I can't assume that everyone kind of has the same communication lens or style that I do as a middle class white male.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So like just kind of being aware of that. So mentally, I'm going to work on that. I also want to start thinking about my language, like the way that I talk about things. Like I sometimes hear people say things like, "Oh, did you go to the doctor? What did he say?"
Yeah.
And so I just want to pay attention to that and also make better choices about that. And I love the idea of the third person plural, which